Well, if you've seen our last few videos, we've been putting on the Icon CD EV, but this week it's getting smarter. So,
let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Nick, aka Dad.
And I'm Addie, aka the Monkey.
Hey, and like we said, this week the Icon CD EV coilovers are getting smarter. And by that, we mean we're installing the Icon Intelligent Control Module, which goes right under here, under the hood. It's got basically a few wires to hook up to get power to it, and then running wires from the Icon control unit to all four corners. So we need only just a few tools. Let's go over those tools you're going to need to get this install done. So some of the tools you'll need for this, and some that I've added, you'll need some flush cuts, a Phillips head screwdriver for those inner fender liners, a 7/16 socket. You'll also need a heat gun. I've also got here our wire cutters and strippers. We'll put a link down below for this. This came off of Amazon. You'll also need wire crimpers, which we have up here. This is another tool we got from Icon. It's nice because it has adjustable jaws, but comes in handy for these butt connectors and ring connectors we'll have at the end. And again, we'll post a link down below to this. You'll also need an 8mm socket. So we've got it here on a 1/4" ratchet, a 10mm socket, which we have in our 3/8 here, 13mm socket or wrench. I chose the wrench because that's for a bolt that's behind the fuse box on the inner fender. And then one I added here is an adjustable wrench. Some of these connectors on the Icon shocks can be kind of hard to get in because they are weatherproof fittings. So sometimes just getting that kind of pinched in there with those is a little bit easier than trying to force it in with just a finger. So just a little bit extra to help. So what we'll need to do is, they've got a bracket we'll need to put underneath the hood. It actually goes right behind the fuse box using that 13mm bolt that's right behind it. So you'll need to loosen that a little bit using a box end wrench is what I find is going to be the easiest. And then on the 2 7s, we've got up here on the firewall 2 grounds. You're going to want to loosen both those. But before you do any of this, make sure you disconnect your battery, and do that by just disconnecting the ground or the black cable on the fender side. So get that done first, and we'll get back here to put on that bracket. To disconnect your battery, it's a 10mm socket, and to disconnect those 2 grounds in the back, it's an 8mm. So there's that 13mm bolt that goes into the driver's front fender. We'll need to just loosen it. You don't need to take it all the way out. Just loosen it to where we can slide the bracket behind it. So here's the bracket we're installing. This side will slide right in behind that bolt we just loosened on the fender. Here are the 2 ground points we disconnected. And then Icon gives you these pieces of tape here. Just peel it off, stick it on, and then the bolt holes are where the Icon Intelligent Controller actually sit on top of this. So let's get this installed. All right, so you can see we've got it all bolted in finally. There's our grounds. These are 2 new bolts that Icon gives you. And to slip it in behind that 13mm back behind our strut here, it is a bear. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think I'll be able to get it tightened back down, but it's in. So now we need to mount the intelligent controller and then go to each shock with the wiring and then run power to the fuse box, to the battery, and then 2 grounds to the battery. So let's keep on going with this install. So we've got the bracket mounted, and now we have the IIC controller bolted down using their hardware, which is you use a 7/16 socket to bolt this down to the plate. And on the V6 models, here is where it bolts back here to the firewall. These are actually grounds back here. On the V6 model, they tell you to use the original hardware. There is other hardware in there, but that is for the 4-cylinder model, I guess. Also, where it bolts down behind here, I don't think I'll be able to get it tightened because the plate's in the way and there's really not a whole lot of room on this side here. So you know, it's kind of snug as it is with this bracket going in, but now we need to wire it up. So they give you this plug. You can see this kind of hanging out here. this is where it ends. They give you this gray plug. It goes in the gray receptacle, and then this one is just the black one, obviously. And then we'll tie in off of these. So got a little bit of wiring to do. Pretty easy. It's just plug and play. Let me show you what that looks like. So here's the rest of our harness pretty much. Here is all four of these plugs will go to each shock. And then we've got our power and grounds. One of these power will be going to in the fuse box. One will be going to the battery itself, and then both grounds will be going to the battery. But yeah, everything's marked very easily to find what goes where. And then in the instructions, it tells you which each of these channels go to. And we've also got, I've made up some labels. One will go on this end, one will go on the end that actually goes to our reservoirs. So show you that as we go along here and get into this wiring. So here's one of our leads that will be going down to, this is the driver front, and obviously it says 4 on it, but we've also made up little labels here that say driver front as well. So ever on the trailer something and we need to figure out if there's a bad connection to one of the 4 coilovers, we don't have to remember what channel 4 was or what it went to. We've got it actually labeled on this and at the controller. So let me get these all labeled and then we're going to get to wiring this thing up. Now another step I didn't really go over was you're going to want to take out your inner fender liners. And since we've been doing this project, I've had the inner fender liners out, both in the front and the rear. So I've just left them off. And it makes it a lot easier, especially when you're having to wire all this in. A lot of these wires are going to come down into the fender wells. And we've got fender wells we'll be putting back in the inner fender liners, but this just makes it so much easier to run these connectors to the reservoirs. So let me keep on with this. Another great thing about this kit is that Icon actually gives you a ton of zip ties. And you're going to be using this a lot because obviously we've got to go to different spaces on all 4 corners and run wires down the looms and that. So we'll show you where we're going to be mounting all the wiring, but it's great that they've given you probably close to 100 zip ties here. All right, so now that we did our driver's front, which is basically just going down and underneath the fuse box to our front reservoir so it can be automatically adjusted, we're on to channel 2, which is our rear driver side, and I've already marked both the line itself and then what's coming off of the intelligent control module to let myself know, which each one, goes to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to route this down underneath the Bronco and down the frame rail to our back driver side. So we'll just use a lot of zip ties because there is that main wiring harness that goes down that direction. We'll just zip tie along there. Well, I've got everything done on the driver's side. So front and rear drivers have been connected. Now we have channel 1 and 3, and those do the passenger side. So channel 1 is passenger rear, and then channel 3 is passenger front. So the reason I put them together, doing them at the same time, is because they're going to go across the firewall to the opposite side, obviously, and then we'll take the front kind of towards the front, towards the airbox, and then down inside the fender well and wrap it around. And then same as we did on the driver's side, we'll take the rear one and just kind of go down the firewall and straight back the frame rail to the coilover. So hopefully that we'll get these all connected. Next, it's just connecting a few terminals and to the fuse box. All right, so we've got all of our shocks connected to the Intelligent Icon controller. Now we just need to get power. And they've got 2 power lines with this. They have power B, which goes directly to the battery with a ring terminal. And then you've also got accessory, which is going to go to fuse 120 by what I can understand here. It looks like in the instructions, they say to go to fuse marked INJ, which I believe is injectors. So we'll go to that. They give you an add a fuse. We'll put that in there in place of the fuse, put the injector fuse in the bottom, and then tie into the accessory power wire. So let's get on with this. Well, we've got the fuses taken care of. So we've got that in that 120 spot with the fuel injectors. Got it crimped on there. It does fit a little tight. I noticed when I was pushing back down on the fuse lid, it doesn't really want to go all the way down. So those additive fuses, I know they work out really well, but I wish there was another way we could do this that you didn't have as much pressure, at least it feels like. I also talked about how that 13 millimeter bolt that's inside the fender isn't all the way in yet. And I'll have a future video on how to take your fuse box off. So just in case you want to get to that bolt, or just, you know, switch over to the fuse box that has the auxiliary switches, I can show you how to do that. It's really only takes a few minutes really to get this fuse box off and put on the one that has the auxiliary switches. So I'll show that in a future video, but let's get this wrapped up and see if we got the Icon control box working with the app. All right, you can see I've got our power here going straight to the battery in this middle terminal. Don't forget too that it also has its own dedicated fuse. So we've got a couple butt connectors on here connecting it back to power. I definitely got to get under here and clean up the hood. And then we've got our two grounds over here. And we still have this taped off just for now. So we have everything hooked up. Just a spaghetti mess of wires from our aux beam and the intelligent controller and our winch. Just, yeah, a bunch of stuff on here we got to clean up at some point, but that should get us going. So that's how that is all done. Everything's been run. You can see we've got our wires back here going to all 4 reservoirs. So now we need to get this connected back up. I've got the intelligent control module app on an iPhone I purchased off of Facebook Marketplace for like 35 bucks. Should work out great. But let me get this buttoned up, and then we'll get into the Bronco and see if the app works. Well, success. About the third time to get everything to pair up, it did. And now we've got where it sees all 4 shocks. And you've got different drive modes down here: normal, off-road, tow haul, so you can switch those. But then you can also customize where we're at. Like right now it's front 2, rear 2, but we can plus or minus those as we're driving. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing around with this. It's got, you know, custom presets, overview log, vehicle management. You can recalibrate your shocks whenever you really want to. So I'm looking forward to playing with this. But really, I mean, the cool thing about this is that I was able to get an iPhone, because I'm an Android person, off of Facebook Marketplace for 35 bucks. You just need something that has a version of 10 or higher. This one was at 15 already, and 35 bucks. And this is all I'm going to use it for, everybody. Paid 35 bucks just so I could play around with these shocks from Icon. So let's wrap this up after we take it for a drive and see what it feels like. Well, we're back. So the verdict is in, and I definitely feel a difference. You know, from setting 1 to, we got to about 5 in our drive, going across the railroad tracks a couple of times just to see if we could feel a difference. And even on cornering, I could definitely feel a difference of how much more roll the Bronco had as it went around a turn. So I really do think it makes self-adjusting while you're driving really nice, and even giving you the ability to turn it on to a low setting when you're on the highway. You get to the trail, you can turn it to an off-road setting, a little bit stiffer suspension for whatever terrain you might be hitting. A couple tips though, we went over all the tools you'll need. That 13 millimeter bolt that's behind the fuse box, we'll have a video upcoming of how you can actually remove your fuse box to get to that bolt a little bit easier, to really cinch it down. And that's not just for this application. This could be for if you're wanting to switch out your fuse box to have the auxiliary switches put in from the factory. You'll need a different fuse box for that as well. So one thing though is you will have a ton of extra wiring. Yeah, I've got probably 6 or 7 feet of both red and black. So we got 4 strands of at least 6 to 7 feet of this type of wiring, which, you know, isn't real thick, but it seems like pretty good wire. But the cables too that tie in from the control box to each shock, they give you, in my opinion, too much. Especially some of the rear shocks, I probably had 4 or 5 feet of extra wiring. Now, to clean that up, boy, I don't know about cutting that, because it's giving, you know, electronic signals back to the brain and that. I don't know. Might be something I look into or at least reach out to Icon about, but plenty of wiring to get to all four corners of your Bronco. But other than that, the wiring was pretty straightforward, pretty easy to get to. So if you're interested in this, the reason I've been wearing this Turn Off Road shirt for most of this install has been because I purchased all of this from Turn Off Road. They are a one-stop shop. If you need suspension components, they work well with Icon and Fox, and then they have their own upper and lower rear control arms. They've got track bars. They've got front upper control arms. So you can pretty much set up your Bronco or Jeep from Turn Off Road with a whole new suspension setup. So we'll put a link down below to our link to Turn Off Road. You use that link, it'll give you 10% off your cart, which I believe also works on the suspension components, just doesn't work on their hard tops. Also, we've got a link down below for ExoShield. We've been using their product for probably going on almost 2 years. It's probably getting time to apply a new sheet, but have had plenty of rocks hit our windshield and still no cracks. So we got a 10% discount code down there using MonkeyBiz. We've also got a ton of products coming up, so stay tuned for that. But as always, we appreciate you watching, and don't forget to subscribe, because Monk and I are always looking for tips, tricks, and products that we'll use on our Bronco that you can use on yours. Have a blessed day. Bye.